away 2-1 away to Spurs. What turned out to be a very hard-fought game. Who would have known after 80 minutes it would have turned into that? But the Richarlison factor made a difference today, unfortunately. My name's Charlie. You are joined here at the LFC Transfer Room. I'm joined today by Johnny and Lando. Lando's making his debut today, so it's going to be really interesting to hear from you. You know what? Let's go straight into you, Lando. How are you, mate? Initial thoughts of the game. Initial thoughts. It was chaotic, but what were your thoughts of the first half and how you felt going into the second half and the difference that Isak made and stuff like that? There's lots and lots to talk about, but I want to try to get as much as stuff from you, from people watching as well. If you're watching, hitting your like, subscribes, dropping some comments, I really would love to hear from you guys as well. Lando, go for it, man.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I know we got the 3 points, so I want to be optimistic about the game today. But I think that, and obviously the chaos of the multiple red cards, definitely changed the dynamic of the game. But I'd say starting off before the first initial red card, in my opinion, it was looking a little shaky. I feel that a lot of the times we were getting caught on the counter, and if Spurs were a better team on the counter, I think we would have been punished for it, if not once or multiple times. Because I know on the right, especially Kudus had a lot of chances to run with the ball. I just don't think he was playing well, thankfully for us. But I think players like Kirkez, who I do want to see continue playing to see if he can find his form. I just think he kind of hasn't found his fit as that attacking wingback that still needs to come back and support the team, because I don't know if you guys disagree, but I feel like some of his chances were there, but he just didn't have that decision making that our previous attacking wingbacks like Robertson or even Trent previously had. And then that kind of led to a lot of counterattacks, like I said, for Spurs. But then when the first red card happened, I think the dynamics didn't change. When Isak came on in the second half, I think there was a clear change. Unfortunately, Isak's injury definitely looking a little scary, in my opinion, with the way he was reacting and how he needed help coming off, could barely even walk. That's definitely scary. I'm happy to see Wirtz get his assist because he's been playing well, and I think he deserves an assist like that. But it's hard to celebrate that goal because I am worried for Isak's health. And again, I'm hoping for the best for him. But after that, it was a very chaotic game, especially with another red.
Bizarre, wasn't it? It's absolutely crazy getting into that point. I mean, for me, I felt really comfortable. Certainly in the first half, I thought it was a little bit more kind of reminiscent of what we saw against Inter Milan. Inter Milan, put it this way, Spurs lost last week. John, I'll come to you on this one. So Spurs lost last week, so they have impetus to try to get a result. They know that they need to perform, so they're going to be up at it. There's no reason why they should struggle at home against most teams in the Premier League. But what are your thoughts? Do you agree with Lando in terms of that you felt it was a little bit shaky, we were kind of on the ropes here and there, or were you feeling a little bit more comfortable like what I felt?
Well, I wouldn't say I felt comfortable. First and foremost, what's up, everyone? I'm glad to be back. If we're starting from the beginning, the team sheet I thought looked good. I think Conor Bradley obviously coming in for Gomez was the only change I think I would have made. So I'm glad Slot did that personally.
Mm-hmm.
However, that first 30 minutes, man, my God, that was awful to watch. Number one, we're sitting back against a team that concede multiple chances. You go at Spurs, you've got a chance of scoring every single time you go up against them. The fact we were there and being a counter-attacking team, I don't even know if this was the plan, but from the first 30 minutes, it looked like it. We're just sitting off Spurs, hoping to counter them. However, we've got Wirtz, Ekitike, and Szoboszlai and McAllister as our front four.
Mm-hmm.
Not really a whole lot of pace. There's actually no pace up there, if we're honest. So that was a bit weird. And then obviously the chaos started. People online are saying it's not a red, it was soft. It was a little soft in my opinion, but it's a red all day long.
It's a red all day long. It's reminiscent straight away of the Anthony Gordon tackle for me. Anthony 100%. Gordon came in a little bit harder, fair enough, right? Okay. Yeah. But you can't be a player coming in around the back, going into the back of a player and essentially scraping your studs down the Achilles or calf. It was that high. It isn't just, a millisecond of being late. There was I don't want to say intent, but there's recklessness in
Yeah.
regards to that. So I totally agree. And when I saw it straight away, I was like, that's a red. They have to review this. And that was it.
Yeah,
But
so going on.
One thing I do want to ask you, Johnny, do you feel that the reason for that red card was because, and again, this is why I feel really comfortable in how we were playing, it was born out of frustration over a number of weeks or in that game as well? You know, Lando, have a think about that, because I feel that's the reason why Xavi has kind of gone in and been a bit more reckless.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if you watch it back, it does kind of look like the Xavi. I don't know if he slips or something. He just goes in a bit too hard. I think, like you said, he probably just wants to press that ball after just to get the crowd going or something. And it's just gone the opposite way for him. Carrying on from earlier, I think as soon as Spurs go a man down, I'm thinking, okay, like, push on. We got 50. What was it? I think like 30, 35 minutes. I think they got that red. So I'm thinking 10 minutes here. Push on, get a goal before halftime. I was like, I was stunned by what I was watching. Like, there was nothing going on. It was just side to side, getting Tottenham to come towards us and then maybe do something, but that never happened. And then halftime comes in, and I'm thinking to myself, I think I put it in the WhatsApp group we're in. I said, okay, we need to take a midfielder off, and we need to bring on like an Isak or a Chiesa. And we brought on Isak, which it worked. It worked well. However, like Lando said, it didn't look good at the same time. Like, I celebrated it, but then when you realize that Isak is down and it looks bad, it's like, ah, shit. Like, God, this ain't good. And
so, yeah, so I was really worried. You know, when I initially saw it, I thought, oh God, let's hope that it's not his knee. But when you saw the replay, and
it's definitely his knee. He's done something to his knee.
Do you think it's his knee? Because the instant reaction from Isak was he was holding his ankle.
But he walks off though. He's putting pressure on that ankle as he's walking. If you've broken an ankle, I don't think you're walking off. However, the way he was walking off indicates to me that he's done something to his knee, because I remember when Van Dijk did his ACL, he was playing on and he could walk off, but he was walking off like very gingerly.
Yeah.
Kind of similar vibe, I guess, but he's like, I hope it's not. I really hope it's not. I hope it was just a knock. Potentially be a few weeks. I'd rather that than, 8 to 9 months? Like, that finish though. Like, can we just talk about that for 2 seconds, please?
How good was it? I mean, the whole move, like not just the finish, the whole move itself is just fantastic.
His finishing is unbelievable. I always thought Ekatike's finishing is very good, and I still think it's incredible. But Isak just has that like Haaland type finish in him. You saw it at West Ham. You've seen it today. That Newcastle player, heaven forbid, he's done a really bad injury. But if he still plays with us in the next like couple of weeks, months, whatever, we're gonna see that Newcastle Isak, in my opinion. I have absolutely no doubt about it. The way that we were playing to his strength, we did it once, he scored. Wirtz plays it through in behind, Isak, bang, 1-0. Like, I don't know. The injury puts a dampener on it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy that he scored. If I quickly summarize what you asked me first time around, happy with the win. Performance wasn't great. However, we're 5-6 unbeaten now, something like that. So you can look at it in 2 ways. You can look at it like we're unbeaten, amazing. Or you can look at it and go, Leeds, Sunderland, today even, still super, super poor. So there's two. I understand both views. Me, I'm trying to be positive, as I always am. So I'm looking at it as we're unbeaten, tied on for 4th place right now. I don't know what the current scores are between Arsenal and Everton and Palace and Leeds, but currently right now we're 5th, I believe.
Yeah, so it's 0-0 in the Everton Arsenal game. So yeah, it is what it is. But Lando, let's kind of come back to that moment of brilliance and that move that you saw prior to the kickoff for the second half. I don't know if you ever noticed or if anyone else has noticed in the chat, and let me know if you have. The one thing that Isak said to whoever it was they were speaking to was, "Get it in the box. I'll get it in get it in the box." And I think that's what we've been missing. And that, Johnny, you kind of articulated that so perfectly. It was that movement that Isak is allowed to make, and something that we've missed for so long. But what are your thoughts about that goal? Okay, we will hopefully hear some good news that it isn't as bad injury as what we fear it could be. But that's what Liverpool should be doing, and that having those two players with Isak and with Wirtz and whoever they around can make that happen.
Yeah, I think it's, again, forgetting the injury, like, I think it's very exciting because at the start of the season, like, that's exactly what everyone's wanting to see. We want to see Ekitike, Isak, and Wirtz find a way to combine up front. And I think this goal was a perfect example. On the counter, we had Ekitike getting out, playing a great ball into Wirtz waiting for Isak to make that run, which I think the dynamic of having two relatively fast strikers up front like can do. Isak made the perfect run, and like you said, the finish was amazing. So I think that combination is exactly what we needed from, obviously it's kind of hard to get Isak and Ekitike both together up front because that's a new dynamic for Liverpool as a whole. But again, I think that's the best option we could have for a counterattack.
So I'm going to ask so there's something I noticed while watching the game. Is Maka in the number 10 and his ability to kind of cover spaces and be really utilized? What I'd be really interested to see, I'll probably try to look at the stats after this stream, is the number of passes and the number of touches that he had in that kind of further advanced position. What are your thoughts there, Lando? I'll come to you, Johnny. I feel you've got some really strong thoughts, but Lando, what are your thoughts about Maka and him? I understand we're trying to flood the midfield, but is he fully effective in that position, being just behind the front, the strike force?
Yeah, that's a really good question because I feel like in this kind of new system with Slot's new signings, McAllister has looking a bit out of place. I think it's pretty clear, especially with his performances. Like, I'd say about a month ago, he had a couple of strings of games where I just feel like he was all over the place. And although I feel like he's adjusting like better, I do think that position that he's playing in, like you said, isn't exactly where we need him, especially with all of our options that we have in the midfield. I think it's hard for him or hard for us to think that that is our best option to play him at. That's just my opinion, but that's how I feel about it.
Johnny?
Yeah, I agree with what Lando just said. I think the way that we are playing this season is not the 4-3-3, two midfielders, one kind of pushed up system that we played last year. I don't like McAllister in the 10. He was there today, and for the first 30 minutes when it was 11v11 and we're sitting back, McAllister is lost. He's lost. He's nowhere to be seen because he's being relied upon now, or today for the first half anyway. He's being relied upon, that guy who picks up the ball and is transitioning it forward. Now, I just don't think that's McAllister's really that type of player anymore. Like, I feel like he needs to be when I think of McAllister, I don't think of like a Wirtz type player. And I feel like that's kind of what he was put in there to do today. When I think of McAllister, I think of like a Bruno at Newcastle, Tonali kind of midfielder, like gritty, putting in tackles, like in and out, moving up and down, and kind of like in the 8 slot is where I see him personally. I think that's where he thrived last year. Even the year before, when he was first, Klopp tried him at CDM, and all the fans knew that it wasn't happening for him at CDM. Gets put in the 8 slot, and he one of the best midfielders in the Prem.
Yeah, agree.
So I don't know. I don't think he's suiting Slot's system right now. Yeah, I don't know. And like, he's going to be there next week because Sober's like picked up a yellow card, so he's going to be out for the Wolves game next week. Yeah. So McAllister's going to be there. So it's going to conversations now next week are going to be, do we bring in Isak? If he's I mean, he's probably not going to be fit, let's be honest. No. But we're going to bring in, say, someone like Chiesa or a Frimpong. Even he was on the right today. He was that made his whatever. I'm sure we'll come on to him later. But
well, let's get into Frimpong. Let's get into Frimpong because Dan mentions about he wants Frimpong to be playing regularly and should be playing. He actually was really positive, and he hasn't played for a long time, and so
why did he come off? I still don't know why he came off.
So there was I saw some comment from Slot around Frimpong coming off, and it's something around he didn't want to come down to 10 men, so there may be another injury, but who knows what that actually was. It seemed to me that I thought it was just like tactical, but
I thought it. I still don't know. I don't know if it was because he got hit in the head and there's like a protocol that has to happen with him. Like I was baffled that he came off because he was only on for what 10 minutes.
Yeah, potentially.
I think it had to have done because of the mouth, because he was bleeding quite a bit. It has to be some protocol because I don't see the point in taking him off for basically.
I think so too, especially for Chiesa. That was just a weird one for me. You bring on an attacker for a defend. I don't know, but if that's the case, protocols, then whatever. Let it go. But he was good. Talking about Frimpong, I thought he was very good when he came on.
Yeah,
obviously sets up the goal for TK.
Yeah. I've just found something. Just looking at the comments from Slot. Where's it gone? Just looking on the good old BBC. Yeah. No, there was something here, but if I do find it, here we go. Right, let's have a look. So what he said on Isak's injury. So we'll have to wait and see. It's too short after the game to speak about it. But it's never good when a player has to come off. I took Frimpong off because I did not want to be with 10 men. So that injury is fine. So it looks like it's a protocol kind of situation there. The other two, so the other two, Isak and Bradley, we'll have to wait and see. The good thing is that we have a week to go.
Is Bradley injured again?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought that was a protocol because he was on a yellow card, wasn't he?
No. So
oh my God, that guy, man.
That's the problem. And so, again,
in one right back, out the other. Oh,
yeah. It's a bit of a mad one. So the good thing is that we have a week to go. So hopefully we'll have enough players available to play next week again. So Wolves, who they are pretty bad. So yeah, I don't know.
Look what they did with Arsenal, though. You cannot take them for granted. They may be on 2 points, but that performance they put in at Arsenal, like, it can happen against us for sure.
Yeah. I mean, Arsenal look like they are leading now away to Everton. So yeah. Okay. Right. Let's focus back on Liverpool and Frimpong. Actually, again, this is the reason why I feel like it was a really good positive move from him coming on. He essentially did set up that second goal. Lando, do you think it was a foul from Ekitike, who took his goal really well? But do you think it was a foul? Would you be more annoyed if that happened to you?
If it happened to me, maybe I would be saying something else because it's hard to look at without bias. But I do think it was just very soft from Romero. I mean, you can see the way he reacted to it. He was trying to sell it because he kind of threw his arms along. Like, it was definitely some acting there. I think from the way the ref, he had a clear sight of it. I don't think there was enough to give a foul there. I think that would have been kind of allowing a flop or an exaggeration to get its way. And I think the ref made the right call, in my opinion.
And Johnny, what do you think?
Yeah, it wasn't a foul. I was watching the Canadian broadcast, though, obviously living in Canada. Andy Townsend was saying it was a foul. I could not believe the shit that he was spouting in this game. It was, I nearly muted the TV. He's saying, I can't remember specifically what he said, but they showed the first highlight of Ekitike scoring, and he does that thing that Gary Neville typically does, where he's like, does that kind of like a weird noise he makes. And then Townsend's going on saying, he's got two hands on his back. He's fully pushed him over. And VAR will for sure go look at that. And I'm looking at it. I'm thinking, Romero's just flopped.
Yeah.
He's flopped over. He's looking for it. That's not a foul. Never a foul. Even if it was against us, I'm probably looking at it thinking, okay, he's probably flopped a little easy there. I don't know. I thought that was ridiculous. No, it wasn't a foul. To answer your question.
So I remember something really similar in terms of when Everton scored their last minute equaliser against us last season. Yep. Right, there was a situation where the Everton player, whoever it was, I can't remember his name. Who's gonna care anyway? Went into the back of Ibu, and at that point I was like, how's that not a foul? So it depends on which side of the coin it lands. I'm grateful that it was allowed from our point of view, but if that was blown up and at a point, so that's the thing. I think that's the key point, is when the referee actually does blow his whistle. If he blew it there, that would be it. That end of conversation, and that's it. But because he allows it, essentially VAR, the bar, the kind of whatever balance probabilities or whatever barring that they use, it really is going to be really difficult for them to overturn that decision on the field. So that's kind of the situation. However, Ekitike, again, scoring, guys. He is doing so well. He is the prime striker for Liverpool. You know, not in the league itself, but you know, Haaland is way above everybody at this point in time. But you know, Lando, because it's your first time, I would love to get your thoughts about how you've kind of perceived Ekitike really shortly over the last kind of 4 months. You know, since his debut, what do you feel? And it seems like it's kind of building up, and he's doing so well now.
Yeah, and I know that's kind of a hot topic, especially because me on TikTok, like I see a lot of talk about Ekitike, and I will admit that I made a video that did pretty well, I'd say like a month ago, about Ekitike and how I was worried about him, because at the start of his career at Liverpool, obviously it was very exciting. You know, he was scoring goals, and then with Isak coming in and kind of him like losing his consistent minutes, he didn't score for, I think it was like over 10 games. And I was worried about Ekitike because my thoughts on like a striker, a pure goal first striker, is that it's hard to have an elite striker that isn't extremely fast unless they have like elite finishing, like players like Kane, Lewandowski, or players like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in the past couple games, obviously he has his goals, but he's also shown how quick he can be on and off the ball. Like I remember in the game versus, it was either Brighton or Leeds, he had like a couple plays where he would either just knock it past the defender and run on, or take the ball like with him and just easily breeze past defenders. And that's exciting to see that he has that pace, or he can have that pace, because that's what I was worried about personally. But obviously I'm very excited. I mean, every game I'm just excited to see, is Ekitike going to score? Because like, I mean, obviously we haven't had kind of like that kind of goal first striker in a very long time. Like, because sorry, I'm kind of rambling here, but I like talking about this topic because obviously we had like Darwin, before that we had Firmino, and Firmino, great player, but I don't think I would consider Firmino as like a goal shoot first striker. I think he played kind of a lot of complementary with Mane and Salah. But before that, it was like Suarez, which obviously was like a long time ago. But I would be so excited to see if Ekitike can fill that role as a shoot first goal scoring striker.
Yeah, and I agree with everything you just said there. Johnny, what are your thoughts about his goal today and his performances over the last kind of 3-4 weeks as well? Because again, it's been a while since we last spoken, but I'd love to get your thoughts.
Yeah, I haven't got too much to follow on from what Lando just said. No, Ekitike has been, what is it, a light in dark times or whatever the phrase is. I don't know what the phrase is. But yeah, he's been, especially the games where we weren't even playing good, he was still having moments where he was doing decently. We say he didn't score for Liverpool, but he was away with France and he was scoring in between those times. So it's not like he was not scoring or assisting or whatever. Putting in good performances, should I say. However, the last, Leeds, Brighton, even the Milan game, I thought he was good.
Yeah.
Obviously today he gets a goal. Yeah, it's just what we needed, hey? And it kind of, I love it in a way too, because it takes away the pressure on Isak, I feel.
Yeah.
If Ekitike came in and wasn't scoring, the pressure on Isak would be immense. The pressure on Wirtz would be immense because he's obviously not doing his job in helping the team out. Ekitike, I love him. I love watching him.
Yeah, absolutely agree. So let's kind of go forward, and we're really happy with everything going at that point. The absolutely reckless kick out from Romero. And when it happened, I'm like, I didn't see the incident kind of live, but the red card and came out and definitely red card. Well, it's definitely a second yellow, and whatnot. So Spurs are down to 9 men. We really should have made this a lot more comfortable at this point. But guys, as always, it seems like Richarlison loves to kind of spoil the party and kind of throw his weight around. He could be absolutely crap for 9 weeks, but come the 10th week and Liverpool are in town, you know what I'm going to do, lads? I'm just going to actually start throwing up weight around and whatnot. Do you feel, and I'm just want to keep this on from a Liverpool perspective there, Johnny, how do you feel that we managed those last 20 minutes? And I say 20 minutes because there was 10 minutes worth of injury time, which I just don't get.
Shockingly is to put it in another word. Yeah, I don't know what we're doing. You could see slots screaming at the team on the touchline to get forward, and nobody's getting forward. I don't know if that's like someone like a Van Dijk taking over at that point, saying, no, we're going to sit here, let them come at us. But I don't know, like that goal that we conceded, what on earth are our centre-backs doing? Van Dijk, what are you doing? What are you doing? Put your goddamn body on the line and boot that ball to Rose. Like, what? Every time that ball came into the box, the last 10 minutes, I was a nervous wreck. Kirkes, even at one point, although I thought Kirkes was actually pretty good for us today, there was once where I think it was Kolo Muani. I can't remember if they had scored at that point or not, but Muani just runs past Kirkes, and Kirkes just allows him to run through. Like, it's just thinking.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like the thought process with the last 10 minutes when our backs are up against the wall. Instead of panicking, we need players like Ibu. We need players like Van Dijk, even Alisson. Control, man. Like, that's something that we are missing a lot from last season, is being able to, like, we saw it out today, but being able to see out games. We didn't do it against Leeds. That was poor against Leeds. Obviously we didn't do a podcast that day, so we didn't talk about it, but seeing out games, man, like, but then on the other hand, you can say that we saw it out because we won.
Yeah.
So it's definitely weird to look at it like, I'm looking at it as like it was poor, wasn't great. We've never been good against teams when they've gone a man down. Never. I can't remember a time where we have gone a man up, say, and we've won comfortably. Newcastle comes to mind. Chelsea a few years ago comes to mind. Today comes to mind. Like, I don't know. But yeah, it wasn't good. I was on the edge of my seat the last 10 minutes.
I will say, I will thank sweet baby Jesus that we do, and I'm pretty sure that Alison will like this as well. But Alison, I am so thankful that he came back today. Well, you know, in the sense of he was able to calm a lot of things down, because there was a lot of shots that were just bouncing in front of him. You know, he was doing some really, really good things in the box, clearing, holding onto the ball, doing everything you expect from an absolute top-class keeper. But Lando, what are your thoughts really quickly? We're coming to the end of this kind of instant match reaction, but what are your thoughts about those last 20 minutes and how dreadful some people were and how bad we were as well?
Yeah, I'll try to be quick with it. I'm glad you brought Alisson up, because I think there were a lot of moments where if there were any spillage or anything like that, it would have led to a goal. But Alisson definitely held firm today, which I'm very happy he's back. I do think it was embarrassing, because if you're looking at it from like the view of just like the open field, Spurs have no one in the midfield, because their whole game plan was get it on the wings and try and cross into Richarlison. And I feel like when we had any sort of counter, it was just kind of like we had no idea what we were doing. And it's embarrassing saying that with going against 9 men, because I guess it's just a mentality shift, them knowing that they have 2 players up and, oh, we're a goal up, so we need to stay back and just, you know, not allow a goal. But I think that if we shifted to more of let's control the game, because we have such of an advantage with a goal, it would have led to a way more calmer, just play the last 10 minutes out rather than hide the last 10 minutes. Like, it was definitely hard to watch. And like Johnny said, I was on the edge of my seat just hoping for the whistle to be blown.
Yeah, I totally agree. So Liverpool are now 5th in the league. They've won the last 2, undefeated in the last 5. I would hope Liverpool's fixtures. So we've got Wolves next week, Saturday. So we've got another 7 days to kind of prepare for Wolves at Anfield. Hopefully that does bring in another 3 points, another really good performance, and something we can kind of build on. And then after that, we've got Leeds again at home for hopefully what would be two real good games where we can kind of keep on delivering. What we'll do, we're going to end it there. I just love to kind of say thank you to Johnny. So thank you for Lando. Brilliant debut. What do you think, guys? Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Let us know what you thought about Lando's performance, because I think it's top notch. I'm really looking forward to you coming back. My name's Charlie. Up the Reds, and see you soon.